Despite the appalling weather outside, spring is definitely in the air. How do I know? Because on farms all across the UK, lambs are arriving. 16.5 million of them, give or take. So where exactly was this little one born? Find out in just a moment. In today's show, I'll be helping a straight-talking couple with a flexible budget find their dream home in the country. There's certainly a rocky start.
Well, I'm speechless.
Speechless in a good or a bad way?
Not very good.
But as ever, we've got the mystery house up our sleeves.
It's the best you've shown us, Devon.
Oh, ho, ho.
Today, I'm in Devon, where the lambing season has just begun. Now, when it finishes in a month or so, this little girl will be one of over 650,000 newborn lambs scattered across the county's countryside. If you look at a map of the southwest of England, you'll see that Devon sits firmly between Dorset, Somerset and Cornwall. And the same can be said for house prices too. In Cornwall, which is the cheapest of the four counties, your average detached house would set you back just over £275,000, whilst in Dorset, which is the most expensive, the same type of home will cost you £321,000. There's a big, big difference. Now, if you take the average of those figures, and yes, I did use a calculator, it comes to £298,000, exactly the price of an average home here in Devon. So bearing all that in mind, let's take a look at what's currently on the market. This three-bedroom barn conversion near Modbury is priced at £290,000. with its sociable kitchen diner and south-facing courtyard garden looking out onto open fields. Or this impressive south-facing villa in Bishop Stainton could be yours for just shy of £600,000, with a light, airy interior and 4 spacious bedrooms. If your wallet can stretch to £795,000, what about this lovingly restored 3-bedroom barn conversion in Ashburton, which not only offers a raft of bright, comfortable reception rooms, but outside comes with stabling and 16 acres, a great option for keen equestrians. We've got 48 hours to show today's couple 3 super properties. But first, let's go meet them. Today's escapees are retired teachers Ed and Jane, who share their 4-bedroom detached house on the outskirts of Derby with their beloved prize-winning dogs. After 11 years together, they want to swap the city suburbs for a slice of village life in south-east Devon and are after a property which gives them much more space outdoors.
Our current home isn't ideal because we've got 3 Staffordshire Bull Terriers and they need a lot of exercise. At present we have to put them in the back of the car and drive somewhere for that. We need a place that's got plenty of land so they can run at home.
They're also avid donkey lovers and have adopted a couple at a nearby farm. A key ambition is to keep the animals on at least an acre of their own land.
I really love my garden, but unfortunately the dogs are ruining the lawn, and not only that, they're ruining my beautiful flower beds.
So what we really need when we move is a garden for Jane and a separate garden for the dogs to run in, but also we want to adopt 2 donkeys, so we need a paddock for those as well.
Along with housing donkeys, they'd like an annex which they plan to rent out as a holiday let. They also have a clear vision of what they want their property to deliver.
My dream house would be somewhere with lots of character, period property, nice high ceilings, lots of original features that haven't been ripped out.
Yeah, with 3 or 4 bedrooms, a large kitchen or the potential to extend the kitchen to make a large kitchen, but not an oldie-worldy cottage. We don't want the beams and the thatched roof.
Ed and Jane have laid down some challenging demands for a house search, but they are in a fortunate position. They're not only selling a nearby rental property that they own, they've also had offers made on their current house. All this means they can be pretty flexible about how much they have to spend.
Our budget for this move is £450,000, but if you could find us a property with an annex to let out, then we could go up to £600,000.
It's been said many times that buying and selling houses is about as stressful as it gets. Well, put yourself in Ed and Jane's shoes. They're trying to sell not one, but 2 homes, and at the same time. Now, they seem pretty relaxed and optimistic with their budget of between £450,000 and £600,000 for this move here to Devon. They want to mimic the setup they currently have in Derby, a home for them and the dogs, and, if we can find it, an annex or something similar for them to rent out. But with this move, they want land, at least an acre. So will we be able to find them everything they want on the money they have to spend? Or will their stress levels and mine go through the proverbial roof? Let's find out. Ed and Jane have asked us to focus their house search in south-east Devon, but they're also happy to nudge over the Somerset border, which still gives them easy access to the coast. We've got some fantastic houses to show them, but as ever, they'll have to guess the price of each property before I reveal it to them. Then, of course, there's our mystery house, which is designed to challenge what they think they want from their new home. Well, Ed and Jane, welcome to Devon.
Thank you.
Good morning. Are you looking forward to the next 2 days?
We certainly are.
Oh,
We love Devon, even on a day like today.
Yeah.
It can only get better, I think, the
Yes,
weather.
I'm sure you're right.
Well, we've got 3 great houses lined up, but before we start, I just want to ask, how well do you both know this county?
Well, we've been here several times on holiday. We absolutely adore it, especially South Devon, around the Sidmouth area.
I think you're both quite unique, that you love the seaside, but you prefer country views.
Certainly do.
Well, yes, there's more to see in the countryside. And, unless you've got a very busy piece of sea with lots of boats going backwards and forwards, the sea, at the end of the day, after 6 months, is still the sea.
So rolling hillside, that's what
Yes.
we're after.
Yes.
So I'm going to ask, are you willing to compromise at all?
Well, obviously, yes, no house is perfect, but you can always change a house and make it what you want. What you can't change is where it is. Unless you
Ed,
live in a caravan.
That's music to my ears. And what about a project then? So you're willing to undertake a
Yes.
project?
Oh, yes,
if we find you
we
one.
actually renovated a house a couple of years ago.
So we have a huge challenge on our hands, but it sounds like you two could be quite flexible. So shall we get started?
Yes,
come
really
on then.
looking
Yes.
forward
Let's
to
go.
it.
With an initial budget of £450,000, Ed and Jane want a light, airy, detached house with lots of character features. Also on the wish list is a spacious kitchen and a minimum of 3 bedrooms. Outside, they need at least an acre of garden for the dogs to let off steam and space to house a couple of donkeys. They're also prepared to increase the budget to £600,000 if there's an outbuilding with holiday let potential. We're starting our property search with location top of the agenda and heading to the village of Dorlwood. Set in the heart of the Blackdown Hills Conservation Area, you couldn't ask for more stunning countryside views. What's more, the village has a thriving community spirit, centred on its church, local pub and post office, with a shop that's run by volunteers. Our first property lies at the end of a no-through track and comes in the form of an extended thatch cottage, a common trademark of this county, and it's designed to test Ed and Jane's style preference. So, Ed and Jane, this is our very first property. What do you think?
It's a country cottage.
It is. It's a thatched country cottage.
It certainly has thatch.
Well, the good news is the thatch is only 3 years old.
Right.
The house has been completely refurbished. The property itself is actually a 2-up, 2-down cottage, originally a farmer's cottage. And as you can see, it's been extended.
Yeah.
It's about 200 years old, so it's Grade 2 listed.
Right.
So you have to bear that in mind.
Yes.
But the good news is all the work has been done.
Right.
So do you like the look of it? Because it's attractive.
It's a very attractive cottage. It's ideal country cottage if you want to.
Well, I'm speechless.
Speechless in a good or a bad way.
Not very good.
What are your reservations when you first see
I like
it?
the colour of the door and the window frames.
Yeah.
I think access is one problem. I think you'll need a 4x4 to get to it.
I think it's time to see if I can convince you about this house. You've gone very
Inside.
quiet. Come on, let's have a look. Ed and Jane may not be fans of thatch, but inside it's been beautifully modernised.
So I want to lead you straight into the kitchen, the heart of every country home. And you love your present kitchen, don't you?
I certainly do. I love it. It's big, spacious and airy.
This is a little different.
It is. It's not quite as big as I would like.
I mean, it has been beautifully fitted out.
It has,
Yes.
yeah.
Because it isn't a huge kitchen. It's quite snug, it's quite cosy. But it seems to have everything here. I mean, you've got the slate flooring. You've actually got the slate flooring throughout the downstairs of this property. So,
Devon.
having a look around, I mean, when you get used to a big kitchen, it's difficult sometimes to adapt. Is this workable, do you think, for you?
I think storage would be a big issue for me.
OK, well, let's keep going, because there's still more to see.
Right.
Do you want to follow me? So through here, you've got your little sitting room. Again,
Right.
certainly has a cottagey feel to it.
There's a nice window seat there to sit and look at the view.
Not a bad view. Got
count the
plenty
sheep.
of sheep over there.
Yeah. Yes.
Very cosy.
I mean, again, it's been done throughout in really, really good condition. But each time it comes down to room size, doesn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
It's,
I mean, we
it's a-
are used to space.
yes.
Struggle with the space.
Yes.
OK, well, let's keep going.
Yeah.
Okay.
Leading off the hallway is a handy utility room and cloakroom, and tucked away off the sitting room is a small study which could make a good snug for the dogs. Next door, a staircase leads up to where they would sleep.
Here's your master bedroom. You've got
Well,
your own staircase coming up from the rest of the house.
That's unexpected.
And actually below us is your bathroom. And it's a generous bathroom. It's got bath, it's got a shower, it's also got its own sauna.
Oh, yes.
So how is this? Because this is a fair size.
It's a nice cottage bedroom.
Yes, it is. Polite reservations, I'm feeling. You like the cottage, though, don't
I
you?
love the cottage.
It's a pretty
but
cottage, but and it's down
Yes.
to storage again. I don't know where to put all my clothes and my shoes.
Well, there are some other bedrooms. So, Ed, if you wouldn't mind leading
Right.
the way, we're going to
Okay.
go back through the house and up the other staircase, and I'll
Right.
show you those.
The central stairs lead up to the two remaining bedrooms, one a light, bright, cosy double with a Jack and Jill shower room, which leads through to the third bedroom.
This cottage has 3 bedrooms, because we've come up the second set of stairs.
This is a nicer room.
yes.
It is nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got a cottage window, but it's letting in plenty of light.
And what's behind me?
Yes,
Jane?
Yes.
storage. Lovely.
Plenty of
yes.
storage. Well, I'm going to take you outside now. So, Ed, do you want to lead the
Right.
way?
Although they seem to have reservations about whether this traditional Devon cottage is spacious enough internally, outside provides a very generous proposition.
So perhaps with this move, the most important bit, the land. Now, it's not all yours. I'd like to say it is, but it's not. But you do have 2 acres and plenty of areas for your
Different.
vegetable patch, for the dogs, and even for the donkeys.
I think the actual land, it's got too much of a slope, I
Right.
think. Certainly for the dogs.
I think it'd make a lovely nature reserve.
Yeah. OK, well, I don't think we've quite hit the mark, but I'm still going to ask you what you think this cottage with all this land is actually worth, because it is guess the price time.
Right.
I'm probably undervaluing it, but I'd say £300,000.
OK?
Well, I
Ed?
think that for the right person who wanted something like this, I think they'd probably pay about 400 for it.
The current asking price is £450,000. But the owner
Yeah.
would take offers
Yeah.
in the region of. Well, why don't you have another look around? Because I know what the answer is. I'm not going to try and convince you. Check out that little hobby house as
Yes.
well.
Okay.
That stone
Okay.
building, and I'll catch up with you in a little while.
Right,
Okay.
All right,
thank
thank you.
Thanks.
Well, despite the glorious location and land, overall they clearly haven't been persuaded by this style of property, even though it falls within budget. At £450,000, it delivers many of the elements they want from their life in the country. As a listed historic cottage, it offers lots of character features. 3 bedrooms and 2 acres of south-facing land with fabulous views over an area of outstanding natural beauty.
Well, seeing this property has confirmed what I thought, that we really wouldn't want to buy and live in a thatched stone cottage.
I want somewhere nearer civilization. I'm afraid I just couldn't spend the day talking to sheep, so I do want more neighbours.
OK, you two?
Yep.
It didn't quite hit the mark, did it? My beautiful cottage.
No, it didn't.
No.
I mean, it's a lovely cottage for somebody, but it certainly isn't for us.
We've got more to show you. Come on.
Hey.
Besides the glorious rural landscape, Devon is renowned for its scattering of seaside resorts that grew popular from the late 18th century. Dubbed the gateway to the Jurassic Coast, the Regency town of Sidmouth is a prime example, with grand Victorian villas lining its impressive promenade. Earlier in the week, we sent Ed and Jane to sample its spectacular views across Lyme Bay, before heading a few minutes out of town to Slade House Farm, headquarters of the Donkey Sanctuary, a national charity for rescue donkeys. As they're keen to look after a pair once they move, we've arranged for them to meet the manager, Annie Brown, to find out more about how to care for these animals and to lend a hand with the everyday tasks.
How many donkeys do you have here?
Well, actually, we've got about 500 on the farm here and 2,070 in the 7 farms in Devon and Dorset. So quite a lot to look after.
It certainly is.
They're coming in at a rate of about 8 a week. So quite a lot of donkeys that need our help.
And where do they all come from?
Mostly the UK and Ireland. People just can't afford to keep them at the moment. So especially the young, uncastrated males, they end up coming into us.
One thing I've always wanted to know is what's the difference between a donkey and a mule?
A horse and a donkey are both equines, and a mule is a hybrid cross between the two. So you get a male donkey and a female horse, and then you get a mule. If you do it the other way round, so a female donkey and a male horse, then that's called a hinny.
Oh, right.
But a mule is sterile and can't breed itself.
Of the 20,000 donkeys and mules in the UK, over 3,000 are cared for by charitable organisations. But with no government funding, the sanctuary relies heavily on its 56 volunteers to help with the grooming and mucking out. Part of Ed and Jane's plan is to have donkeys on their own turf.
And can we take one home?
You can't take one, but we do have a fostering scheme where you can take a pair of donkeys. Because donkeys born for life, we always send them out with a companion. So for that, you'd need a property with at least an acre of ground, a field shelter, and some hard standing, because donkeys tend to have feet that are very porous, so in the winter they need to be able to get off the grazing and onto some concrete. And some adequate fencing like the post and rail we've got here, or even a hedge, as long as it's got a boundary fence on the inside of it.
How much does it cost?
Well, approximately £700 per donkey per year. That's for the basic costs, but obviously doesn't include anything like a big vet bill, but it would cover your day-to-day stuff and your vaccinations and your worming and that sort of thing.
Well, it seems all we need to do is find the right property with the right land.
Yeah, well, best of luck with that, and you're welcome back to visit here any time, especially if you want to come and volunteer.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Hopefully this time we can get nearer to the right combination of house and land as we continue our property search over the Somerset border, close to the village of Donyat, a few minutes' drive from the town of Ilminster. It's a peaceful place with a population of nearly 400, where many of the buildings feature the local Ham stone, including the 15th century Grade II listed church. Just a mile down the road, in the middle of open countryside, is our next property, a brand new stone barn conversion. It's a style of property which should offer the open living spaces thereafter.
Now, you two, we didn't get it quite right with the very first property. Hopefully, we're going to do better with the second. Take a look. It's an 18th century barn. Used to store grain for the barley mill next door. It's got a huge waterman. So what are your first impressions? Because I know this is important, Jane.
It's interesting. It's not something I would have looked at.
Yes. I don't know. We'll have to get inside and see.
Should we take a look inside?
Let's do that.
Let's see if I can convince you.
The The good news is that all the main renovation work has already been carried out. It would just need Ed and Jane to add their own personal touches to the interior.
So this front door leads straight into the kitchen. And you've probably guessed by now, as it's only just been finished.
Yes. Well, it's a much better kitchen, isn't it?
It certainly is.
It's
Yeah,
interesting.
much better size.
Yes. The units look very similar to the in-house one, but it looks more practical for cooking and...
Yeah, for cooking for 2 people plus 3 dogs.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, much better space.
Right, let's proceed.
Yes, right.
Down the stairs. So the barn has not 1 but 2 reception rooms, and this is the smaller of the 2.
Yeah, it's a nice
it's
space.
it's light and
Lovely
bright.
and light, yes.
Yes, that's what you wanted, wasn't
Yes,
it? Light
yes.
and airy.
Yes, I'm presuming you can see the stream down there.
You can.
Yes,
You can.
yes.
You could have enormous sofas and a
Yes.
huge dining table for
Yes.
8 or 12 in here. I think you still have
yes.
room to spare.
Yeah.
And dogs.
And dogs.
Yeah.
Come on through here.
Yes.
This is the second reception room, which I think is enormous.
Yes. There's a cosier feel to it, though.
Yeah?
isn't there?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's got a nice feature window over
Yes,
there as well.
Well, this is quite favourable.
Yes.
Yes.
A better feeling than the property
It feels
before.
a
Oh,
lot better.
definitely much
Yeah.
more in tune with
Yes.
the sort of space that we want.
Yeah.
Oh, great. Well, let's keep going.
Fantastic. The light and generous size of the reception areas seem to be hitting the mark. Let's hope they're as impressed by the bedrooms which lie at the other end of the property, 3 of the 4 being serviced by a bright modern family bathroom.
So step in here. The barn has actually 4 bedrooms in total, but there's 3 of them which are about this size, and it's just literally stud wall between. So what you could do, and the developer said he's happy to do it, is knock through. Because the one next door to this, that could make a fantastic large bedroom if you didn't need the 4 and you wanted to make it 3.
Yeah, because we don't need 4.
No.
Time to take a look at where they would sleep.
This would be, in theory, the master bedroom.
Right.
So it gives you lots of options. You could either knock through or you could use this as it is. It's got its own shower room there, a little ensuite. And can you hear the running water? That's from the mill, the old mill next door.
Right.
Yeah.
So Jane, you've
Much
been
better.
still quite quiet, yeah? Are you getting a
Yes.
good feel for this property?
Yes, I much prefer this one.
Yes.
Yeah, much more me. And our furniture would fit in here
Yes.
far better than the cottage.
Should we go and see if there's any room for your donkeys?
Yes.
Yes.
Given that this is the first barn conversion they've ever looked at, their reaction is quite encouraging because this property does provide them with the large light rooms they've asked for. Outside, the lawned area and borders give Jane the gardening project she wanted, with the huge double garage offering ample space for storage, but that's just for starters.
So, through your 5-bar gate,
Right.
to take a look at the land that comes with this barn. 2.3 acres in total.
Right.
And I'm thinking donkeys.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Definitely
Plenty
donkeys.
of room for donkeys.
Yes.
You can see the fence going all the way down to the gate at the bottom and then
Yeah.
all the way round, plus the stream running through your property.
Yes.
That all comes with the barn.
Right.
But what's your sort of gut feel?
I mean, the things that need doing to the house, it's just a few tweaks here and there, and I'm sure we can do that.
Yes. Yes.
Sounding good, but can you do it on the price they're asking?
Now, there's the
That is the
thing.
question. Who
Yes.
wants to go first?
That's my turn, I think, isn't it?
It is.
I would say that's on for 500,000.
I was going to say 475.
The current asking price is £395,000.
Really?
And it's really only just gone on the market.
Yes.
Finished
So
at the beginning of the year.
So any changes we wanted to make, we could have the money to do it?
That's the best news,
Yes,
isn't it?
it is.
Because it gives you a lot left over to do what
Yes.
you need to do to
Yes.
make it your own. Well, I think I should send you, not in that direction, but in that direction, over the little bridge and go and take a look at some of those acres of land.
See if we can find a donkey in the undergrowth.
Off you go.
Thank you.
under budget at £395,000, our barn conversion not only leaves them a healthy £55,000 spare, but also answers many of the demands on their wish list, including a large kitchen diner, 2 bright spacious reception rooms, 4 bedrooms, and 2 1/3 acres of grounds for the dogs and donkeys, all within reach of a village and Ilminster's amenities, and the Devon coast is just half an hour's drive away.
There's more than enough room for the donkeys here. You could
Plus
have
the fact that the donkeys have got fresh water, haven't
yes,
they?
they've got
Which is
water they
perfect.
can get to, yes. You could have the shelter here at this end. It'd be absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it's lovely.
Yeah. There's not much that I don't like about the property. The only problem would be the land is in a poor condition, will need a lot of work on it, but because it's only 395, I would have the money available to actually improve the land.
I can see myself living here. It's perfect for the dogs, Ed and me, and if we happen to get any donkeys, once Ed's sorted out the meadow, then it would be absolutely perfect.
Well, that was a bit more like it.
Yes, it was, definitely.
Good reactions there.
Yes,
Happy?
very- certainly, yes.
Yes.
Much better.
And that's it for today, so we can go back and relax now.
Oh, good. Right.
As evening falls over the Devon countryside, the first day of our property search draws to a close. Retired teachers and donkey lovers Ed and Jane want to hoof it down south from Derby to rural Devon. So far they've seen 2 properties. The land that came with our barn conversion seems to mark it out as their favourite at the moment. But coming up, our mystery house puts them in a real quandary.
At the moment, I'm just thinking, wow, it's a lot to take on.
And I'm on hand to meet the newest arrival on one of Devon's hill farms.
Oh, that is amazing. Out of the 2 properties we showed Ed and Jane yesterday, I think it's fair to say there was a clear winner. But we've got another one up our sleeve. It is, of course, the mystery house. Now, they're either going to love it or loathe it. Let's find out. So we're driving to see the mystery house. What do you think we might have up our sleeve? Any ideas?
I did wonder whether we're looking at a holiday let, whether you might show us a bed and breakfast as an alternative to a holiday let, which might be interesting.
Well, Ed is right. There is great business potential, but also a lot of work to factor in beforehand. Our mystery property takes us to the village of Plymtree in East Devon, a sure bet in terms of location, with its beautiful church dating back to the 14th century, along with a pub and community shop, giving them a chance to meet the locals. Surrounded by idyllic countryside, our mystery farmhouse is a mile outside the village and is crying out for some attention.
So, Ed and Jane, let me introduce you to your mystery house.
Lots of potential. Yeah, it's much
Yeah.
nicer.
It's a house and a barn and
With lots of outbuildings.
lots of
Yeah.
outbuildings.
It's the best you've shown us, definitely.
Oh, we're starting on a high. I mean, it is the mystery house, so it's got to be different, hasn't it?
I presume from the window frames it needs a bit of work.
You have hit the nail on the head. This property has the most amazing potential, is the truth.
Yeah.
It is a project, though.
Right.
It is a project, and I know you're willing to take on a project. It's going to be interesting to see if this is the project for you. Should we take a step inside?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, perhaps this gamble might pay off, as they don't seem too fazed by the idea of a project at the moment. But will inside fit their creative vision?
So, step inside. A pretty substantial room.
It
There's
is.
something about it, the proportions. Not certain. It's just a lovely shaped room.
Yeah.
Really like
It's very big. I like the size of it. My only concern is the height of the ceiling.
Originally, it probably was only one story.
Yeah.
And then they've put another story on top
okay.
over the years,
Yeah.
yeah. Behind us, you've got a little snug in there. with a wood burner.
That's lovely.
Could be a good office or...
Beautiful. Yeah.
Could make
very
a great
nice.
office. I don't think you have any problem with space with this property. There might be quite a few options.
Thank you.
OK, well, let's
Yeah.
keep going through. So here is your sitting room.
Okay. It's still a nice room, but I don't think it's as nice as that one. It's not as light and airy,
it seems
is
to be
it?
darker. But...
Yeah, I mean, the
Yeah.
ceiling actually is a tad higher. You've got the most beautiful bay window here with the window seat.
That is beautiful.
But let me show you a part that has a slightly higher ceiling, the
Okay.
Victorian
Yeah, I think that's a bit we're really
extension.
looking forward to.
Well, Jane will need to see past the current decor.
So through here is your kitchen.
Right. Okay. Yeah, nice size, but
size. Ceiling's high.
it certainly is.
It is,
Yes. I mean,
yes.
it needs ripping out and replacing.
Yes.
Yeah, it does. The house needs
A
love
bit of TLC.
and
It
attention.
certainly does.
Yeah. But looking at the size of the rooms, you know, it is quite light area. It has, you know, you could do some fantastic things in this property. Through that door, there's a study. Well, it's currently used as a study.
So I've got a choice now. I've got
You
this.
have.
No, I've got...
Exactly. And I haven't even shown you what's outside.
No.
Okay.
All right.
Good. We're going to head upstairs now.
Okay.
The second
Okay.
set of staircases in this property.
The ground floor has a host of other rooms tucked away, including a downstairs bathroom, a utility room and a storeroom which the dogs could make their own. The dining room stairs lead up to the bedrooms and a separate family bathroom.
Now, this farmhouse has 6 bedrooms.
Wow.
And you asked for 3. So we managed to double it. But you walk through one bedroom into this one. You've got another one set up like this, so you've got 2 bedrooms together linked.
Yeah.
You've got a large double, and then you've got the master.
Right.
So you could sort of rip it out, convert it, make dressing rooms or an office, perhaps.
We have actually retired, and it does need an awful lot doing to it. At the moment, I'm just thinking, wow, it's a lot to take on.
It all adds up.
Do you have enough money in the kitty? That's the question.
That's an interesting point.
Doubts about the scale of the work needed on the house seem to be setting in, but our mystery property does give them great scope to develop holiday lets in the old dairy outbuilding and the new dairy if they get the right planning consent. Along with the lawned gardens, there's plenty of land for the donkeys to roam.
So in total, you've got about 2.3 acres with this farmhouse.
That includes the ground at the front.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's quite a substantial plot.
It is, yeah, and that's perfect for donkeys,
Yes.
especially with the open barn just there.
So, house has been on the market for about 3 weeks. They have had plenty of people looking around already. But what is the asking price?
I think it's got to be about 500,000.
OK.
I think I'd go less because of the work involved, so I'll go 475.
OK. The current asking price, well, the owners are taking offers in excess of £450,000.
That's a good price.
It is.
We think that
It is a brilliant price.
Yeah. Do you want to have another wander around?
Yeah,
Go look at the new dairy.
Please do.
Yeah.
Catch
Thank
up with
you.
you later.
Right.
It looks like this historic farmhouse may be a project too far for them, but it's certainly a great development opportunity which could give them everything they've asked for. On the market for offers over £450,000, leaving £150,000 for renovation work, it gives them 2 light reception rooms with character features, a large kitchen, 6 bedrooms, an array of outbuildings with holiday let potential subject to planning consent, all sitting on over 2 acres of land, perfect for donkeys.
Overall, I think this is a wonderful mystery house because different people would look on it in different ways. Somebody who wanted it just for a fabulous house could turn it into a fabulous house.
The thing I like the most about this house is the location. It's in a beautiful setting. The size of the plot is perfect for our needs, for the dogs and the donkeys, and for Ed and me. But unfortunately, the house itself is far too big.
Well, we arrived through the front door, we're leaving through the back door. That is it. House hunt now officially over.
It's been great to see the Mystery House.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed this one.
It's certainly given us something to think about.
Yes. I should take you somewhere quiet now, shouldn't I, to gather your thoughts?
Come on, good idea.
Much of Devon's rich agricultural heritage revolves around livestock farming, and historically it's played a major role in shaping the landscape. I've come to Dartmoor to learn more about this tradition and am meeting Matt Cole, a local hill farmer. It's lambing season, so with a bit of luck I might get to see a brand new arrival on his 500-acre sheep farm.
Matt, good to meet you.
And you?
Thank you for inviting us onto your farm today. Now, you're a hill farmer. What's the difference between a hill farmer and another farmer?
We only grow grass. We can't grow any crops, really, because the environment doesn't allow. There's too many stones in the ground, the field's too small. So, essentially, all we do is we keep sheep and we keep cattle.
And it's not just a livelihood, is it, farming? It's a way of life.
Definitely. This time of year, I work 7 days a week. And, you know, these ewes are lambing, and I've got to be here all the time, or someone's got to be here.
So do you bring all the ewes inside to give birth?
This breed do for us. We don't lamb all of our ewes indoors. We just lamb the white-faced Dartmoors and some of the older ewes.
Matt has divided up the expectant ewes according to if they're carrying twins, triplets or single lambs. By keeping them in the lambing sheds, he's able to manage their diet, which also allows the hillside grass a chance to grow, so there's a plentiful supply once they and their lambs are sent out to graze.
And any of these around here about to give birth, do you think?
Let's go and have a look.
Keeping them close at hand also enables Matt to assist the ewes if there are complications.
We've got a ewe here having a lamb. She's having a single, but I know it's backwards because his feet are pointing the wrong way. But basically, I've got to get him out as quick as I can. I need to get the fluid out of his lungs because she's pushing with fluid.
Yeah.
That fluid's been pushed into his mouth, into his lungs.
OK, right.
So now I'm just going to ease this one out. Come on, girl. Come on, girl. Steady, 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 steady.
God, you're really having to pull. Here he comes. OK, girl.
OK.
Right.
And now I just want to clear his mouth. Stay there, girl. I'm just going to flick him. That just takes any mucus or fluid out of his lungs. And he's...
Look, he's already beginning to twitch.
That's right.
Look.
First breath, look.
Oh, that is amazing. Now, if this was in the fields, would that have been a difficult birth for her on her own?
It would have been difficult births because when he came out, he would probably have had fluid in his lungs and he might have found it difficult to start. So his chances of survival would have been a lot less.
Look, you can tell she's just sniffing at her newborn. What an amazing thing to witness.
Yeah, like I say, she'll clean him off now and give him a feed. They'll be in the pens for sort of, you know, the next sort of 24 hours, and then they'll go into the fields.
I think I'm going to leave her in peace. Thank you very much.
You probably won't want to shake my hand.
No. Matt, thank you very much.
OK, there you go, girl.
Well, that's it for Ed and Jane. They've seen 3 very different properties, but have any of them hit the mark? Let's go and ask them. Hello, you two.
Hello.
So I hope you've enjoyed yourselves.
We have. We've had a really good time, thank you.
Yeah?
It's been lovely. Really
Good.
nice.
Well, you did set us quite a challenge, I think.
I think we did.
Did we
didn't
rise to the challenge? That's what I need to know. Well, let's start off with that first property that we saw, Hawley Bottom it was in. It was a thatched white cottage, wasn't it, up a track?
Yes.
Your first impressions were a little muted.
To say the least, yes. I think I was speechless at one point, wasn't I? Because it really wasn't what we were looking for, because it was thatched, the rooms were very small, and it was dark as well. Plus the fact the land wasn't suitable for the dogs or the donkeys.
So seeing that thatch, because it was an attractive property in quite a sought-after area, but it just didn't work for you, did it, for your needs?
It's the sort of place we would choose for a holiday.
Now, for our second home, we crossed the border into Somerset, which I know you are keen to look at as well. Brand new barn conversion. Would it be fair to say we've got a little closer with that one?
Oh, I think definitely. From the outside, it didn't look terribly impressive, but once you got inside, the space and the layout, it was quite an interesting property, yes.
The land was far more suitable for the dogs and the donkeys because it had running water, which would have been ideal for donkeys. And I think you could have developed a vegetable plot eventually,
yes.
but it would have needed an awful lot of work.
So number 3, the Mystery House. Very, very different in East Devon.
Yeah, location was perfect, land perfect. But unfortunately, the property itself was far too big a project for us to.
Yes, yes.
It would be a really good one for a developer, but we're not really up to that level.
I mean, it was a substantial farmhouse, wasn't
Yes.
it?
It was a lovely house, really comfortable. The room sizes, you walked into them, you felt comfortable with them. But the work needed to develop the dairy into holiday let. It would be a mammoth building task, I think.
You gave us quite a broad budget, from 450 to 600, even going to the top of it, and that is a healthy budget. We still struggle to find what you wanted. So has that made you reconsider, what your next move's going to be?
The style of property we were looking for, you can't find in the countryside around here for our price. So I think we have got to go nearer to a town.
Well, you'll let us know how you get on, won't you?
We will, certainly will.
We wish you all the luck, and thank you very much. I've really, really enjoyed the last couple of days.
Thank you very much, sir.
We have as well. It's been lovely. Thank you.
Thanks.
We tried our very hardest to find Ed and Jane the house of their dreams, but their extensive wish list proved too much on their budget here in Devon. I think they would be the first to agree. But what's clear is their enthusiasm for this area hasn't diminished. So we're going to wish them the very best of luck with their future house hunting in this glorious part of the country. See you next time.
If you would like to escape to the country in Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland or England and need our help, please apply online at bbc.co.uk/be-on-a-show. Despite the appalling weather outside, spring is definitely in the air. How do I know? Because on farms all across the UK, lambs are arriving. 16.5 million of them, give or take. So where exactly was this little one born? Find out in just a moment. In today's show, I'll be helping a straight-talking couple with a flexible budget find their dream home in the country. There's certainly a rocky start.
Well, I'm speechless.
Speechless in a good or a bad way?
Not very good.
But as ever, we've got the mystery house up our sleeves.
It's the best you've shown us, Devon.
Oh, ho, ho.
Today, I'm in Devon, where the lambing season has just begun. Now, when it finishes in a month or so, this little girl will be one of over 650,000 newborn lambs scattered across the county's countryside.
If you look at a map of the southwest of England, you'll see that Devon sits firmly between Dorset, Somerset and Cornwall. The same can be said for house prices too. In Cornwall, which is the cheapest of the 4 counties, your average detached house would set you back just over £275,000, whilst in Dorset, which is the most expensive, the same type of home will cost you £321,000. There's a big, big difference. Now, if you take the average of those figures, and yes, I did use a calculator, it comes to £298,000, exactly the price of an average home here in Devon. So bearing all that in mind, let's take a look at what's currently on the market.
This 3-bedroom barn conversion near Modbury is priced at £290,000. With its sociable kitchen diner and south-facing courtyard garden looking out onto open fields. Or this impressive south-facing villa in Bishop Stainton could be yours for just shy of £600,000, with a light, airy interior and 4 spacious bedrooms. If your wallet can stretch to £795,000, what about this lovingly restored three-bedroom barn conversion in Ashburton, which not only offers a raft of bright, comfortable reception rooms, but outside comes with stabling and 16 acres, a great option for keen equestrians.
We've got 48 hours to show today's couple 3 super properties. But first, let's go meet them.
Today's escapees are retired teachers Ed and Jane, who share their 4-bedroom detached house on the outskirts of Derby with their beloved prize-winning dogs. After 11 years together, they want to swap the city suburbs for a slice of village life in south-east Devon and are after a property which gives them much more space outdoors.
Our current home isn't ideal because we've got 3 Staffordshire Bull Terriers and they need a lot of exercise. At present we have to put them in the back of the car and drive somewhere for that. We need a place that's got plenty of land so they can run at home.
They're also avid donkey lovers and have adopted a couple at a nearby farm. A key ambition is to keep the animals on at least an acre of their own land.
I really love my garden, but unfortunately the dogs are ruining the lawn, and not only that, they're ruining my beautiful flower beds.
So what we really need when we move is a garden for Jane and a separate garden for the dogs to run in, but also we want to adopt 2 donkeys, so we need a paddock for those as well.
Along with housing donkeys, they're like an annex which they plan to rent out as a holiday let. They also have a clear vision of what they want their property to deliver.
My dream house would be somewhere with lots of character, period property, nice high ceilings, lots of original features that haven't been ripped out.
Yeah, with 3 or 4 bedrooms,